guys, welcome back. I am making a refill for my shower scrub because I ran out. I usually do this a couple times a month. I make a tiny little batch in a jar like this. It's got the plastic ring on top so it seals. You could also use a regular jar or an old canister. Just make sure you clean it out and wash it in between. We're going to be using a couple different things today. I've got my oils. So I chose, can you see that? Peanut oil. If you have a peanut allergy, don't use this. Avocado oil. Jojoba oil, coconut oil. This one's a little bit more solid, but that's okay. Olive oil, and then my essential oil is tea tree. You could use really any essential oils that you want. I happen to love the way this smells for bath products and other things too. It's a really nice scent. It's just straight tea tree oil. I'm not going to be mixing it with any of my other essential oils because I actually really like the way that smells, and it's antibacterial, so that's nice as well. I'm going to be using some honey, and then for the real scrubby stuff I have sugar in a giant container. We'll be using sugar, and then for a little bit coarser scrub, just some kosher salt. It's thicker and more coarse than sugar. I'm not going to be using very much of it, just like a tiny little bit, especially because my jar is so small. Anyway, let's get right into it. First of all, I am going to be separating my oils. Peanut oil on one side, jojoba oil on the other, and I will explain in a second. Olive oil, honey, coconut oil, my avocado oil. Basically, I'm separating food and non-food. I don't even know if you can see that on the camera, sorry. So here's my food side, jojoba oil and essential tea tree oil on the other side. These are not food. So I'm separating those. I'm gonna pour my salt and my sugar on the food side. So basically what that means is I can use spoons and my bowl and everything for the food side because it's safe to then put in the dishwasher and eat from, because this is all food. While jojoba oil is great for the skin, you don't actually want to ingest it, and essential oils don't go inside your body, they go outside your body. As a general rule of thumb, do not ingest them. So those are being put in separate and last. What I'm gonna start with is my jar. I'm gonna open it up. I need to move all this stuff out of my way, 1 second. And I'm just going to take a couple spoonfuls of my sugar and put that in the little jar. You just want to fill this up the majority of the way with sugar. It's a smoother scrub than the salt is, so you don't want to put in very much salt. I don't like a lot of salt in there. If you want a coarser, I want to say better exfoliation, but just more of a rougher texture scrub, go ahead and add more salt to sugar. I'm going to put in probably at least half the jar of just sugar. It's going to be the majority of it. Super exciting to watch me do that, huh? Okay, it's about that much, maybe a little bit more. It's about that much, and we are done with the sugar. I'm going to pour in a little bit of salt. Just going to open it up and pour to the pour side. Not nearly as much as I did sugar. It's white on white. You really aren't going to be able to see it, but just kind of, maybe you can see the levels changing. Just about that much. Just a real thin layer that's going to mix in there. You can just take a spoon and kind of make sure it mixes up a little bit. I don't want like a rough layer of salt in there. I want it mainly the nice soft sugar. But that's personal preference. Like I said, you can change that based on your skin type. Then I'm going to take my coconut oil. I'll leave that. And I'm just gonna take kind of a little bit. Coconut oil is really good for you. It's good for the skin. It's good to eat. It's good for your, hair, nails, moisture retention. It's kind of a big one in the news right now as far as the next miracle beauty product. Everybody uses coconut oil for everything. So mine's a little bit stiff. It will melt a little bit when it gets warm, but it's okay if it's still stiff too, because it's gonna help everything kind of stick together. So that's taking up the majority of it, just 2 little spoonfuls of it. Lid, and then you're gonna pour in the rest of your oils. I'm gonna finish with my scrubbies. So a little bit of honey. Honey's great. It's a superfood. It's got that sugar in it. It's also gonna be a little bit of a scrub. This one is organic, very raw honey, unfiltered, 100% delicious, by the way. I don't want to use too much of it because A, we're running out of room in our jar, and B, it's really expensive. But honey is really good for you. It's really good to have in your skincare products, and it's really good to eat too because it's yummy. Olive oil, also really good for your skin. So these are the fatty oils coming in now. I'm gonna pour it off to the side so that it can saturate the oil. Just a little bit like that, or I'm sorry, saturate the sugar. And then a little bit of my peanut oil. And it's starting to get full, so I'm gonna take my last unused spoon, kind of make some room in there and kind of stir it up. You want the oil to go all the way through the sugars. It's gonna hold it together so you don't have a big old mess in the shower. It's also going to help hydrate your skin, so as you are exfoliating, you're also hydrating it. That's the whole point of this. It's really moisturizing. It's gonna leave your skin feeling super soft. And as you're scrubbing away the top layer, you wanna be putting these good for your skin ingredients on there to kind of protect it so it doesn't dry it out from, you know, the water of the shower hitting it immediately. And just make it feel good. Okay, so it's okay if it's not perfectly mixed. We'll do that later. We just wanted to make some more room for the rest of our oils. So we're going in with the avocado oil. I just bought a new one because I ran out. I use a fair amount of avocado oil. I really like it. I find it to be really moisturizing. It sinks in pretty well. I've read that it's got a lot of really good vitamins for you, like vitamin E, things like that are good for the skin. Just pour that on top. Fair amount more than the other oils, even though it's not very much because I use a tiny jar overall. And I'm going to go back in and mix. And if you have like a little blender, that will totally work too. If you use, they sell coconut oil that's like more liquid than this. You can use that, and then mixing won't be as difficult. Right now I've got, it's kind of like the consistency of cold butter. So I'm kind of breaking that up and mixing it, but it's working pretty well. You can see it's going through. Oh, I missed a whole side there. But it's becoming like a really pretty pale yellow color, which is nice. Doesn't really smell like anything, which is why we have tea tree oil. There we go. So we'll just get that blended up a little bit. Basically what you're looking for is uniformity in color. You've got the white of the sugar and the salt, chunks of coconut oil, you've got the honey, which is a darker yellow, so you basically want to mix until it's all one uniform color. And I forgot my stir stick, which I'm going to use for the rest of it. So let me go grab one of those, because as I said, you don't want to use spoons for everything, because jojoba oil and tea tree oil you cannot eat. Everything in here is food. I could take a bite out of this and it would probably taste gross because it's all just a bunch of oil and sugar. But technically I can eat this. There's nothing in it that would hurt me. It's gonna be like a lot of calories, but yes, this is food. The rest of what we're putting in there is not food, so I'm gonna switch my stirring utensils. So coffee stirrer that I had forgotten to grab. And now we are switching to the jojoba oil, which is very moisturizing, it's very good for your skin. I'm gonna make that a top layer. Once this stuff goes in, you can no longer eat it. I'm just gonna put a nice amount on top there. And then I'm going to do a few drops of the essential oil. Like I said, I use tea tree oil. I really like the way it smells. It is antibacterial. If you've seen my DIY perfume video, I already said do not use these full strength. Use them sparingly. Essential oils are very, very strong. They're very potent. You don't want a ton of them, so I just kind of do a layer on the top. And then kind of mix it in. And then when you are using it in the shower, your fingers are naturally going to stir it too, so you don't really have to worry about that. But you want to make sure that you get that essential oil top layer down and mixed through the levels, because if you leave it on the top and you just grab that, it's going to be too strong. So you want to mix it in so it has a chance to be cut with all of the other oils that you put in there that are going to work as your carrier oils. Literally every other oil we put in here, including the coconut oil, even though it was solid, is going to help cut the potency of that. So now it smells really nice. It does smell lightly of tea tree oil, which is great. That means it's all in there. I used enough. It's not overpowering. I know this isn't going to hurt me. I can put this on my skin and leave it there for the rest of filming. Definitely not enough it's not too strong, it's not gonna hurt me, it just smells nice. And then I have a lovely little exfoliation, which is very nice. I'm gonna wipe the edges of the jar with the paper towel for presentation, for like the Food Network channel or something. Clean the plate. Here we go. Put it on top. And if you want, you can be cute and put like a little ribbon or something around it. I usually just leave it like this because, as I said, I use it in the shower. And so if you put a ribbon, it's just gonna get all wet and gross anyway. But it's easy to get the lid on and off. It is like a nice seal. It keeps the air out. It keeps the moisture out. It doesn't really drip or anything. So it's nice and safe. It's kind of cute. And it works really well. It smells great. It's just a gentle exfoliation for your skin. It's all natural. It's something you can make in under 10 minutes at home. And I highly suggest it. I will put the recipe that I use for it down in the description below, along with all of the ingredients, so you don't have to remember that. I will also put my socials if you want to hit me up on Instagram, or technically I have a Twitter, I don't really use it, or Facebook, anything like that. Please let me know. Please like and subscribe if you did like the video and want to see more DIY crafts. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.